morning, and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. We are here gathered for Winner's Circle. It is Saturday morning, bright and early, June 21st, 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. It's myself and the Anarchy Queen, Miss Anika, here to discuss and review some AEW. We've been gone for a couple weeks because life be lifing, but we're here today. So, if
Yeah.
you're new to the YouTube channel, hit the like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that bell on the YouTube channel so you'll be notified every time we put something up on the YouTube channel. If you're with us, we appreciate you. If you're with us on Twitch, give us a follow over there. Unfortunately, we can't see your comments on Twitch here in Restream, but if you come over to the YouTube channel and you want to comment on anything that we're discussing, AEW in general, all in, Summer Blockbuster from June 11th, last week's Grand Slam Mexico from June 11th, and then June 18th. We'd love to hear everything you guys got to say or anything you want to say. So, Miss Anika, I know Anika doesn't want to get too into the weeds on Blockbuster, Summer Blockbuster 4-hour spectacular, but it was in my neck of the woods. I didn't go, but it was here, local here on the West
Oh,
Coast, Portland. I did have a friend that went, and he said it was a very good show. Long, but
nice.
I have been before to a Dynamite where they record. This was when they were still doing Dark and Dark Elevation, so they
Oh, wow.
recorded Dark before, then did
Yeah.
Dynamite, and then did Dark Elevation afterwards. So it was still like 4 hours. It was a
So,
long night. It's a long night, like
for a
especially when it was Dark and
Wednesday.
Dark Elevation, because you get some people that like you don't know, and it's like okay, I'm not really interested in seeing that.
Right.
This was a little different, at least because this was a Dynamite and a Collision, so at least you're guaranteed to get more than likely at least good matches.
Yeah.
So what do we want to talk about? So we want to just break it down. I mean, basically it was. I mean, for me, the real highlight of the show was obviously Osprey Strickland. I mean, you can say what you want about it ending in a time limit, whatever draw,
I
I guess,
will.
or time expired, which
Mm-hmm.
is fine. I mean, here's the thing, right? These two, Swerve's a little older, but they're still fairly young, and they're going to be circling each other for a long time. Hangman in that same picture. We're going to see these guys wrestle each other singles multiple times. We've already seen it before. We've seen it here. We're going to see it again. So they got to leave something on the table. You can't just have somebody win over and over again. So I get it. I don't have a problem with the time limit here. I have a problem with the whole show, honestly. And I have a problem with the last two shows, especially leading
Right.
into All In. Now, I understand that they're not go home shows,
Right.
but there's far too much stuff that has nothing to really do with what's going on with what's
Yeah.
right now
Okay.
essentially kind of scheduled for All In. As best I can find, I can only see 3 matches, and I know there's probably more that I just am not clearly aware. I haven't, caught, but right now I can only find 3. And I understand that they want to they're really leaning heavy on this CMLL partnership, but it's a
Yeah.
little heavy for me. It's a little heavy for me.
It was
I don't.
too heavy. Yeah.
I like luchadors. I like lucha libre. It's too heavy. I don't know any of these guys. It takes some of it away from it for me. And I understand you can't get to know them without watching them. And maybe down the road here I'll feel a little bit different. But right now, it's very lucha heavy for the last couple weeks. So
So we're actually in agreement with this. More so with me, I feel like I think we all can agree that All In is AEW's version of WrestleMania. This is your biggest show of the year, right? So in my mind, you should be really focused on that show. Like
I agree.
July 12th is creeping up hella fast, right?
Yeah,
Now,
real quick.
granted,
Yeah, real
we're
quick.
talking about a show that was 2 weeks ago, but even still, that's still almost a month out of when All In's going to be. So to that point, it's like I need y'all to really, like you said, I need y'all to really hammer in why you want us to watch All In. I'm okay
Hmm.
with Blockbuster, cool. We're talking about last week Dynamite that was in Mexico, Grand Slam, cool. But it was like, listen, All In is coming up, so let's not There we go. Let's not deviate from the main show that's coming up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like Mystico versus Blake Christian was fun, but it's like I don't know, is that a summer blockbuster match on a Dynamite? Like I just don't like Christian and I like Mystico. I just don't know that I see that as the spot that it got. And not that it got a major spot, it's in the middle of the card, but it's on a summer blockbuster special episode. It's like, okay, I get it. I mean, but at the same time,
So
you know,
do you
and
so do you have the whole card?
do I have the whole card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like let's run down the whole card because like literally we'll give our thoughts about it because the 4-hour thing was not a good idea. It's like he's like, what? Like, look, y'all hear us complaining about Raw and SmackDown being 3 hours. So why the freak did y'all think? Oh, because it's a special TV event. It's still a Dynamite on Wednesday, man. On a Wednesday, nobody got 4 hours on a Wednesday unless they're a child.
No doubt, no doubt. So I think they've got this split up here. I don't totally remember because it was 4 hours and it all blended together, but I think the
So
reviews are
like
split up. So
the
it was
2 hours
Swerve
of
versus
Dynamite,
Ospreay.
yeah.
So it was
No,
Swerve
I'm saying the
Ospreay,
2 hours of
Mystico
Dynamite
versus
and the other two Collision.
right, Mystico versus Blake Christian, Hurt Syndicate versus Masquerita Dorada and Jet Speed, Anna Jay and Ty Mello versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I think that was Dynamite. That's the review I'm looking at the bottom. It shows the results. I think, and then I think there's a review for Collision for the second 2 hours. I'm gonna check and see if there's different matches on there. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Oh, wait a second. No, this one's it. This is it right here. Yeah, so there was different matches on here. So then on Collision on the second hour or the second 2 hours, it was Kyle Fletcher versus Anthony Bowens, Tony Storm versus Julia Hart, Mark Briscoe and Ishii and Willow versus MXM Collection, Taya Valkyrie, and then Thekla versus Queen Aminata and Hechicero and the Don Callis family versus Daniel Garcia and Paragon.
We also have the Hurt Syndicate now
So,
with MJF feature going up against I don't want to say Sin Cara. What's his name? What's his original name? Mystico.
Masquerita Dorada.
Is that it?
Oh yeah. Wasn't that next? That was last week.
No. This was no.
So we're still talking about the 11th.
It was triple threat. It was the summer blockbuster. It was Hurt Syndicate versus Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and this dude. One more. I don't know his name.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here.
Forgive
I mean,
me.
it was like 2 weeks ago now that I watched it, so I don't remember. Oh yes, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Jet Speed, yeah. Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Hurt Syndicate. I read this wrong. Versus Masquerita Dorado.
Masquerita Dorado, right? Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't on the Dynamite side, there was nothing other than obviously Ospreay and Strickland even going to a time limit that really, really moved the needle for me on that show. I mean, I enjoy to a certain extent seeing people that I'm not overly familiar with, and at the same time, I do also have a hard time getting engaged sometimes until I do know them. So it's like I'm watching, but I'm only half watching Mystico versus Blake Christian. I'm only half watching the Hurt Syndicate match because I know the guys, but like it is what it is, and I don't. Some of it is I don't really care, and then obviously Anna Jay and Ty Mello versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't, I'm not a big fan of Anna Jay or Ty Mello.
I'm glad, yay, Ty Mello's back. I didn't know it was her until they said her name. I'm like, wait, who is shit? I'm like, oh shit. I do feel bad because
it's been like 2.5 years, right? It's been a long time.
It's been a minute, at least a year and a half. I feel bad because now what do we do with Harley Cameron? Because it was Harley Cameron and Anna versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. It's like, nope, my best friend's back. See ya. It's like, no, look, your best friend was cold, but we were on the Harley Cameron train. We enjoyed the ride. Let's go like that.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I mean, it's been a while since Ty Mello's been around, but I like Harley Cameron much better than Ty Mello. So I mean, let's see what they do with Harley Cameron. Maybe they give her something more, now that she can break away from this. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, I mean, if she's going to go sit in catering in lieu of Ty Mello, that I'm not here for
Like
at all.
if
So
y'all could,
I guess we'll end up having to see. But
like if y'all could add another person to Megan Bain and Penelope Ford and make it a 3-on-3 situation, that would be cool. Like, but yeah, it's like daggone it. And nobody was taking for like no offense, Ty Mello. She was great. Again, back in the AEW history archives, please go watch the blonde street fight. I'm gonna call it because where it was Penelope Ford. What's her? Oh my god, I loved her. The bunny versus Ty and Anna on Rampage. It was one of the best street fights ever. Like, please go watch it. It was a great thing. But I'm like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because old girl came back though. It's like that, like that.
So anything else you want to say about the Dynamite portion?
So to go back to Swerve and Ospreay, listen.
Yes.
I'm gonna say it till the cows come home. No time limit draws or AEW's no DQs. And I need y'all to come together with me on this. I don't care how much you love the freaking wrestlers and how great and wonderful they are. That's still a version of the DQ. And y'all need to stop that. I get what you're saying, that it's a lot of meat on the bone. They're going to wrestle each other a lot. But if you don't know who's going to win, don't do the freaking match. That being said, the ending was what it needed to be. Talking about going on the road to All In. The whole Young Bucks coming out with Death Riders beating up Swerve, and they put on the tattoo, the super kick, but Ospreay got in the way, and his nose already broken. But then you tack on, he got super kick. Like now he's just bleeding. Like, oh. And then of course the backstage was crazy when Heyman was like, "What y'all doing? Like, give me 2 reasons why I shouldn't beat you up." It's like 2 reasons, give you 5 words. We were aiming for. Listen, whoever said Young Bucks as heels are not good, y'all are not reading the room, because that was that popped me where it shouldn't be. We were aiming for Swerve, and so it's like, just bring it home. And he was like, "I'm not with y'all. It's been how many years? I didn't forget y'all freaking fired me when y'all became the heel elite." So he's like, "Stay out of my business. Stay out of Swerve's business. Stay out of Ospreay's business." And Swerve listen. I'm like, listen, did you hear that, Swerve? So the whole conspiracy theory in your brain that they helped each other out, that wasn't a conspiracy. Like, no, they're not together. So we can jump off that boat for now. Please and thank you. So the ending, as a story girl, the ending justified the DQ. The time limit draw, same difference. But yeah, it's like, again, if you don't know who's gonna win, just stop it, please and thank you. Next up, wait, you gonna say something?
I was gonna say the problem is that if you don't do that match on this show, the show is really down.
Yeah. I concur.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So also what happened on this match, this was hilarious. So the beginning of it, you have Hangman talking to Christopher Daniels, talking about Christopher Daniels, like, "Hey, you need some people. You're gonna get Moxley, not just Moxley's Death Riders. You need to mend some fences to get some help." He walks away, and then Moxley takes the hat off and tells his boys to go get it. I'm like, there's a camera. Yeah, no. So nobody's watching this. Nobody sees it. Hey man, he's about to get kidnapped. Oh, okay, fine. So we're in the third wall. We're not in the fourth wall. We're in the third wall. Okay, fine. Even though there's a camera posted, we can see everything. Like that. That is one of the things where it's just like, listen, how much do you want me to escape my reality when I watch y'all? You know, like so nobody sees the dude about to get kidnapped. It's fine. But then they come out with Hangman, and I love the promo. This is what the Death Rider story was supposed to be about. I might, so that's why I'm still on the boat, because it's supposed to be making people better, and Jon Moxley threatening Hangman to be better is vintage Moxley that I love. He's like, listen, He's like, listen, I ain't gonna take it easy on you. You want this, but you're gonna have to earn it. I need you to be at your best. And then, of course, Hangman, like, dude, he like Marcel, I didn't mind him. Like, I'm not listening to you. You have me handcuffed. But they're beating him up. Here comes the ops. Best group on AEW, in my opinion. And Heyman's like, listen, I don't care what the frick is happening. If I see y'all crackheads emotionally, I'm coming to get y'all. Listen, when they say that, I need him to hurt one of y'all. Like even if he's running against a truck, and so I'm like, at least throw a chair at somebody and at least clip him. At least clip him a little bit. But yeah, so that further story to love. And then last but not least, the Omega Okada contract signing. That was worth, like you said, that and Osprey and Swerve. And I like the Death Rider story. Like it was short but sweet, which is what we need right now. Those are probably the top 3 things on the show. I loved that they did a whole video package of Okada and Omega. Because like for the people in the back who have been watching New Japan, who don't get it, I need this. I wish AEW would have done this earlier in their freaking shows. Because like if you don't know, you don't know. I'm like, no, I want to know. I'm not asking y'all to do a whole freaking history class, but can I get a video package? This was a beautiful package. I love this so much. I mean, this gave me what I needed. I'm like, thank you. Okay, now we're cooking with some freaking gas. I loved it. And the contract signing was a very big swerve where like I did not see that coming. Where I did not see because like in the beginning of the show, you have Callis just flipping his gums, talking about, I don't see why this is you versus Omega. He's speaking to Okada. He's like, why isn't this Takeshita? Why isn't this Kyle Fletcher? And Okada is just like, who are you talking to? Then the family came out. It was like, bitch. He's like, that will always pop me. And then we get to the contract signing, and it feels like what'd you call it? Very very agreeable. Nothing like no crazy stuff. There we go. A gentleman's agreement of a match. And then here comes the Cow's family. Swerve, they're with Okada. I didn't see that coming. Cause I think we were all like, oh shoot, they're gonna give us what you call it? They're gonna give us Okada versus Omega real quick. No. It's just you're gonna be Omega. Okay, fine. How you gonna deal the carrot in our faces like that? That's so rude. But the beat down was insane, which was needed for this contract signing, but it was insane. Your thoughts on all of this?
I mean, the Moxley Hangman stuff is what it is, I guess. I mean, I wasn't necessarily too. It's okay. I mean, it's vintage Moxley. It's perfect for the Death Rider's character. I'm just not sure that I care for it all that much. But it is what it is. And like you said, I do think the Ops is the best thing going in AEW right now, so they come and get involved. So that's enjoyable. Anytime they're on TV, that's enjoyable, especially Samoa Joe. So like I said, at this point, it'll be interesting to see what they're doing at All In. I'm sure they'll have something to do. At least I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, again, with the Osprey Swerve match, when you sprinkle this in, and then whatchamacallit, the Omega Okada stuff, at least you're getting your major AEW ticket drawers and superstars on TV when your matches aren't really presenting that. So I guess in that regard, it is what it is. I can't stand Okada, so I don't do the whole Okada thing. I don't buy into it. So like him versus Omega. I understand it's going to be good. I get it. I can appreciate he's a good wrestler. I get that. He's not
Hear
my
you?
style of wrestler. Um, I imagine it'll be good. Their previous stuff has been good. The package that they did for the match was great. I thought the contract signing was terrible. The whole gentlemanly stuff I don't care for. I don't like contract signings to begin with. I think it's bad television. Um, and I don't like the whole gentlemanly thing in the beginning. Okada's great for the Callis family because they're all fucking douchebags. So, it's perfect. So, as far as I'm concerned, he fits right in with Don Callis. And, this doesn't surprise me in any way. I didn't necessarily see it coming. But it doesn't surprise me because Don Callis hates Kenny Omega at this point so much that anytime that he can do anything to get at Kenny Omega, he's going to do it. So, and Okada right now is the person that has that opportunity. Needless to say, Kenny Omega is going to walk away with the unified championship, I'm sure. That's my prediction. Honestly, the 3 matches that they have listed so far, I could see the title changing in all 3. It really wouldn't surprise me to see Mercedes end up with that belt and beat Tony Storm. It wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me to see Hangman beat Moxley. Moxley's been the champion for a really long time, and it wouldn't surprise me to see that change titles either, or
that
change
should
hands either.
happen.
And then it wouldn't surprise me to see Omega beat Okada. Now, to be fair, Kenny's already got a belt, so it's whatever. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Kenny be the first unified champion between those 2 belts. Which, by the way, I think is a good thing to do because I think right now there's too many belts and not enough defense of any of them. So take those 2, put them together. Then you only got that 1 belt instead of 2 to have to try to find someone to be the champion for and to defend and all those kinds of things. So, yeah,
No,
I don't like the contract signing. I love Omega. I don't like Okada. I think Okada fits great with the Callis family, and I think that works fine for me. I don't have a problem with it. The match should be what it is. I mean, we'll see. And again, the Hangman Moxley stuff, I think Hangman's going to win. It's time for Moxley to probably drop that belt. And then we'll see what ends up happening with the Death Riders once he's not champion. As much as I think that they're a solid faction and that a lot of the work they've done is really good, and even though it gets Claudio on TV and Wheeler on TV and it's gotten Pac on TV, I still want to see some of those guys break out and be more on their own and less kind of like in the shadow, it feels like, of John Moxley. And that's not necessarily Moxley's fault. It's just he casts a big shadow because he's John Moxley, right?
yeah,
And I want to see Claudio stand more on his own. I want to see, Wheeler Yuta stand more on his own. You know, Wheeler Yuta versus Kenny Omega for the Unified Championship. I think that would be fun. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Wheeler Yuta. I do. I think he's extremely talented. I think that would be a fun
hmm
matchup. I think they would work well together. So I think that's a spot where he could work with more guys that are on kind of that cruiserweight, kind of, third gear type of wrestling level, where it's a lot of action in the match, very lots of, up tempo stuff. I think that's where Wheeler Yuta could work really good and on his own. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think Hangman's winning that championship. So those parts of the show, even though I didn't like the contract signing, and even though I'm not a huge fan of the way it worked out with the whole, kidnapping and whatever, at least they get your stars on the show. So it is what it is. And without those, it would have been a really, really poor show. Even though I didn't like the Okada Omega segment, at least it's Omega and at least it's a big segment. So without that, the show would have been really down, especially for a show you're calling Summer Blockbuster. Like, and
listen,
that's no offense to the Mexican wrestlers, and that's no offense to Blake Christian. It's just this is AEW Dynamite Summer Blockbuster. Like, where are the big guys? Like, and you get a few of them, but not enough, right? It's just and not in the way that you want them, unfortunately.
this wasn't from in my what's the word? In my opinion, this wasn't the time to do that. Like I said, you're building up to what's the face? You're building up to All In. So let's just focus on All In. Like I said, we only have 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, and we spent, like you said, we spent most of this on CMLL. We're not saying CMLL is not worth it. It's like right now, I'm like I need you to pay attention to All In. That's all we're saying. Side note, Cause like we're done with this, and I should, but whatever. What do you think about the unification, the name of the belt now being the United? I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really
You
care. I
it
mean,
was so many names. The United Champion felt like that feels a little higher than the World AEW World Heavyweight Champion. That's what it sounded like y'all had no other names to name this belt, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Here's the thing: Tony has come out and said that at different times that he wants all the belts to be equal, right? And putting the belt on a guy like Kenny Omega, and or
Come
having it on
on.
Okada. I mean, and or having it on Okada does, I mean, Okada still has a very high profile, whether I like him or not, right? And he's a big deal. He's a major superstar. So putting that belt, that new belt on one of the two of them, it definitely gives it a lot of prestige and raises its level very high. So it starts the bar very high for that belt. I don't know if I hear unified title and I think, or unified champion or united champion, I guess is what it is, united champion, right? Um, I don't know if I think that sounds bigger than the AEW World Champion, but yeah, I mean, let's see who's the world champion. For me personally, I like Omega the best out of the four guys that are competing in those two matches. So if he
Yeah.
ends up being the United Champion and then we still are not stuck with, or we have Moxley or Hangman, for me, my attention will be a little more focused on Kenny's title than it would be on, just my own enjoyment of watching it, not necessarily what AEW is going to focus on, just where my attention would be. But again, other people like different things. So, you know, like I said, if Tony's goal is to make sure that they're, have all his titles on the same level, then I guess it works in that regard. I understand you're not liking it, and it does make it a little kind of convoluted. Plus, again, we've talked about this. The reality is that the purpose, I think, of having multiple titles in a wrestling organization is to give people that aren't going to be your world champion an opportunity to have a title at some point, right? And if
Yeah.
you make them all the same level and all main event stuff, and you only have 15 main event guys that you consider main event guys, then you have those same 15 guys competing for all the titles. And what happens to the other 40 guys that are on the roster? Where do they actually get an opportunity to compete for a championship? If you take away all of all the mid card titles and make them all main event titles, that would be my only, contention. But again, it is what it is, and see how it plays out. But
Marshawn just need a better name. Can I get a better name than the United Championship? Come on, bro. All right.
do we want to talk at all about you want to talk a little bit about the Collision 2-hour part?
No, more so because, like you said, it cost them a blockbuster. Y'all really didn't have anything blockbustery. Like, why? What was the real life purpose of putting both of these on the same night? If you have the mindset of we're going to make this a special TV show, you should at least have one of your biggest moments at the end of the show. It really felt you felt, oh, at 10 o'clock it's Collision, not the continuation of the show. It was just, hey, now we're the Collision part of the show. Do you remember, like, is there anything worth mentioning?
There were a couple of things that I thought stood out. One is I don't like the booking of Kyle Fletcher beating Anthony Bowens. I don't like the booking of the match, and I don't like him beating him. Like you've been pushing Bowens. Like you've been trying to tell us that he's a good wrestler and that he's going to get a singles run in some way, shape, or form. And then you have him wrestle Kyle Fletcher. There's no connection between Kyle Fletcher and Anthony Bowens. Why are they wrestling at all other than two guys put together? And then you have Kyle Fletcher beat him as he should, because right now Kyle Fletcher's on a different level. But I just don't understand how it benefits Kyle Fletcher to beat a guy below him or benefit the Anthony Bowens that you're trying to push to take a loss to Kyle Fletcher. So in that regard, I thought that was bad booking. Um, anytime I see Willow, I'm happy. So I get to see Willow on my TV. So that's great. And I thought that for me, honestly, the best match of the night was Thekla versus Queen Aminata. I was disappointed that Thekla got the win, but Aminata showed out. I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe they let Thekla get the win, but I guess it's a CMLL partnership thing, and sometimes they've got to get the win. And I guess she's a huge deal in Mexico, but I thought Queen Aminata showed out in that match. I thought was the best match of the whole 2 hours, in my opinion. So,
Oh yeah. And I'm very, and you know what? I'm giving some love to AEW because they actually put on more women's, like 4 hours. You actually did more than one women's match. Congratulations, you did a better job than you're supposed to do. But like you said, no, Queen
yeah,
Aminata, just hang in there because you'll break it. Like you deserve something huge, and hopefully it's coming.
yeah. All right. So that was Summer Blockbuster. Oh, well, I guess we should give it. Are we going to grade them separately? Or you want to grade it as one show?
No, they had it all together. It's all together.
All right. So what are you giving Summer Blockbuster for
A
an overall
C.
4 hour show? I, I think that's a fair grade, honestly. I can't really
Like,
argue with that. It might even been a C minus, but there were a few things that saved them. There were on the backside, Queen Aminata saved him. Anytime I see Mark Briscoe and Willow, I'm happy. As well as she. Those three together, I'm always happy. So, and you got to see Tyler Valkyrie and Johnny, which is nice because you don't see them very often.
yeah.
But on the front side, there wasn't really a whole lot other than Osprey and Swerve for me. So yeah, I think C's a fair score. I think C's a fair grade.
Like I said, if you want to put the Osprey thing at the end of the show, like if this is actually a 4 hour extravaganza, make it feel like a 4 hour. Like have your biggest match as the main event, not we're gonna put these two shows together. Like no,
Yeah. All right. So we both gave the Summer Blockbuster a C, which may make it hard to actually have a winner at the end. We'll see since there's only two of us and not a tiebreaker. But I suppose Sammy could have given it a C too, and then we all be in the same ball of wax. Yeah. So AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, Dynamite Collision Grand Slam from this
and Mexico.
Wednesday. Yes, in Mexico. And even listen, as much as I was like, okay, this is a very CMLL heavy show on Dynamite or on Summer Blockbuster, this was even a more CML heavy show. And I understand that it was CMLL heavy show. I understand we're in Mexico. I get it. But, and this sounds terrible. I probably shouldn't even say it, but I'm going to because I'm an asshole, I guess. But I'm sorry, but I don't speak Spanish, so I lose a little something in the Hangman promo at the beginning where he comes up. But I understand it's great for the local crowd. I get it. And I understand you got Tony kind of explaining what's going on. I think it was Tony or maybe it was Excalibur. Someone was kind of somewhat translating what he was saying. But it just, for me, if I can't understand what you're saying, I lose a little bit to me. That's just my personal feeling on it. Again, more power to Adam Page or Hangman Page that he knows. It is Adam Page. I don't know why I changed that. Hangman Adam Page that he
It
speaks
feels
Spanish.
weird. It does feel
Fine,
weird.
it sounded great. All those things, but for me, I just it is what it is. So,
So I got you.
even. Go ahead.
I got you. I have the translation of what he says right here.
All right.
So I'm gonna say it real quick. I was gonna do an accent, but no, let them be assholes. All right. Hi. Sorry. Don't be an asshole, but I do want a good voice. All right, here we go. Hi, my name is Hangman. I want to apologize for my Spanish because it is not the best. Hey, thank you for acknowledging that before we get started. But it is a little better than most gringos, so I will try. Hey, I pretty like see right that's hilarious. When I was young, my family had a tobacco farm, and every summer, like 6 men would come from Riaz, Nayatar to work. They said he says say their names to work, and he says their names. Who worked with him at the tobacco farm. Okay. Every year I worked with them, and they taught me about Mexico. They were hard workers, honest, and cared for their families. They taught me that we are all better when we work together. This is why I want to say thank you. Thank you for having us in your house. I heard that part because I'm like, okay, yep, their house. I got it. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I know enough Spanish to pick up like every 12th word that he said. I was like, okay, I got mi casa, I got this next like okay, but
like champion. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. For having us in your house tonight. Thank you for this collaboration between AEW and CMLL because we work together, we can change the world. Now let's talk about our champion. John. I'm like, okay, champion John Moxley. I heard that part. Okay. I'm sorry to say that I don't have a match tonight, and I'm not allowed to be in the arena during this match. But nobody said anything about after the match. So after all that, I will beat his ass. Ah, yay! Yay! Until then, thank you to everyone here in Arena Mexico. I will see you soon. So it's like,
everyone talks about. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go first.
I was gonna say, everyone talks about AEW being the Hangman story, right? So if indeed that's your thought process, that's your idea, that's your vision for AEW. I don't know what Tony's is, but if that's yours as a fan's vision, that's what you think is going on here. And then he is the spokesman at this point for AEW, and this is a great thing for him to do. I mean, to get out there, show that he, not only is there thankful, but that he's made an effort to learn to speak the language, all those kinds of things. I mean, there's nothing necessarily bad in there. I mean, it's all good. It's
Yeah.
all positive, and I guess good for AEW and CMLL. I mean, it feels like there's too much copycatting going on between AEW and WWE. But
And
again,
just
it is what it is.
stop. Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, that's
Right.
what they do, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like we can't. So as an American, it really is like I do feel bad for people who are overseas who have different languages and they're like, what's going on? What you're saying? And they have to just catch it. And so it's like listen. When they're in Mexico, when they're in England, and Osprey does a whole segment about stuff from England, it's like, or when they're in Australia and Harley and Tony Storm just going at it, it's like, listen, they don't get to do it as much. So I will sit back and let them enjoy this moment, because they had to do this basically 350 days a year when they watch us. So yeah, let them have this moment. I can sit back and just catch the feeling of what old boys say. Like you said, like I said, like, you do this, kept it sweet. It was good.
I mean, I'm not overly familiar with CMLL, but this episode of Dynamite felt very New Japan booking style to me. Lots of multi-man stuff, several big multi-man, and maybe that is the way they book a lot in Mexico too. I don't know. Maybe that's a standard booking method for CMLL. It's not my favorite. I often complain about too many men in a match and not being able to pay attention to what's going on, and you lose all those kinds of things. So it is what it is. But
like no, we're in the same boat of. It's not about CMLL or anything. It's like, if you want me to be invested in matches, I gotta know some of these dudes. And like you said, they've done some of them on Rampage, but even like sorry, Collision. But like I said, Collision, Rampage, same difference right now. So it's like no offense, unless you're watching Collision, you're doing a Saturday night, no one doesn't really know these people enough to be invested in these matches. And so like I said, they did some kind of, they did an effort where they got you into it, but they did an effort to introduce you to the people on Collision, but it wasn't enough to be like, okay, now I'm ready for this match. I want to see who would. I'm like, I'm just watching wrestling. It's a very fun. It's entertaining wrestling, no doubt, but I am just watching wrestling right now.
Yeah, for sure. The first match was Adam Cole, Atlantis Jr., Bandito, Brody King, Daniel Garcia, Templario versus Dax Harwood, Don Callis family, and Volador Jr. So a lot of guys. Minus Cash Wheeler, who was conspicuous by his absence due to legal issues.
Travel issues? We don't really, it might be travel issues because of legal issues. We're not 100% sure. But yeah, that's crazy. It's like, oh, one dude's out. Let's add 5 other dudes. It's like, we could have just found one partner for Dax. We had to get them both. It's just like, all right, 5 a day.
I mean, and again, don't get me wrong, like in a vacuum, There's nothing necessarily wrong with this. There's a lot of good wrestling. There's a lot of people able to showcase what they can do. A lot of solid spots. You know, for all intents and purposes, as a wrestling fan, the wrestling itself is fine. It's all good. I just now we're this is still getting closer to All In, and this really means nothing. What does this do for All In? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And why is this called a Grand Slam show? What is this doing? Nothing at all. I mean, it's not like it deserves a big thing. Like, if you're going to give something a big thing, make it a big thing. Like, this for me just doesn't equate to a big thing. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. The match itself, as much as I enjoy multi-man matches, I got to see some guys that I don't see a lot. So I did get to see some of them. And don't get me wrong, seeing these guys, I will get to like them, some of them, and I'll get to dislike some of them. But it's just going to take time. But in the meantime, it's not moving the needle all that much at the moment. What did you think of the first match?
Yeah. No, like that. It was like this was just pure fun. It was just pure fun. I love that they are somewhat building to Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. I don't like that should be a match on All In. It probably is. I don't know who. I know that Kyle should win, but we haven't seen enough of Adam Cole the belt. So it's just like, can you put like that? Like I said again, it's the TNT champion, more so the television champion. Let him do matches on television unless he's hurt, but evidently he's not because he did this match. He's fine, but like that match should be great. I love Brody King, man. Can you please give him something? Because he was hot spotted, but he also was like, listen, we're in Mexico. I'm gonna do a freaking Hurricane Rana, and I was doing suicide dive with your big old behind. It's like, what are we doing? He was the star of this. He was definitely the star of this match, and yeah, a roll up like all that. A roll up is how they won. I think Atlantis Jr. rolled up Dax. I'm like, really? That's how this match ends? Fine, but really? That was hilarious. But yeah, he said this is pure fun. This is like let's get the crowd hyped and energized. This is how you do it. Cool.
Yeah. Then we get a video package, another one. Or not another one, a video package on Okada joining the Don Callis family before his title unification match. And then we get Mark Briscoe talking about his history with Kenny Omega and how he wants some revenge on Okada as we lead into Briscoe versus Okada as our second match. What about the package and then Briscoe? And then do you want to just talk about Briscoe versus Okada?
So again, I appreciate them having evident because WWE they did a lot where it's like that's my friend, I'm going to defend him. It's like we've never seen y'all together in the back ever. Why is you talking about this your friend? You going to defend him? But I know it's like there's evidence where it's like no Ring of Honor, me and Omega was rocking like it. So it's like I'm gonna kick it behind. And Mark Briscoe's so believable. It's like okay, sure. I don't think you're lying. I think you're telling the truth. And like that, Mark Briscoe, man, for what it's worth, he's gonna make you enjoy his matches. If you're not invested or if you're invested or not, he's like, nope, you're gonna enjoy this freaking match. And of course, case in point, this match was great. I know everyone's like, Okada is he only turns it on when the lights are on. But for the past 2 times, Okada putting that work in. The match at what was it? Double or Nothing with Speedball. He put in that work, and tonight he did his thing. He has the best drop kick ever. He does. Like that drop kick is just so doggone freaking pretty. And so like, and then maybe like you said, Omega and Mark Briscoe, you saw the Ring of Honor, and like you saw a little bit of Okada in there. It's like, okay, so maybe he has respect for Mark Briscoe to put on his best, but he did. This match was great. You know, of course, Okada shouldn't be losing before All In, so of course he beats Mark Briscoe. That's fine. You have Callis comes out and he just beat up Mark. It's like, so I guess like we were saying most of these belts aren't being defended enough. This wasn't for the championship, but at least wrestle. So at least we saw a little bit more of Okada wrestling, which is good. But it's like you said, it's like okay, he gets a win, so he's seen as a threat to see a little bit tip the scales of who's going to win or lose during Omega versus Okada, which I appreciate. So this was good. This was okay.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. Being a non-title match, I think gives you room to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it was a title match, obviously Briscoe's not winning, so I'm glad that it was
Right.
it gives it a little more, at least a sense of unpredictability on my part. I mean, in reality, I guess there's no part of my mind that really thinks probably Mark Briscoe's beating Okada. At the same time, like if you were ever going to pull the trigger to try to give Mark Briscoe a rub, this would be the moment to try to do that. Like taking a fluke loss to a Mark Briscoe, even this close to All In, isn't going to hurt Okada. It just isn't. All it's going to do is benefit a Mark Briscoe, especially since it's non-title. So, I mean, he still goes into All In, still defends his title against, Kenny Omega, and still has, probably a great match, I'm sure. So in my eyes, I would kind of had hoped that Briscoe had got the win. I understand why he didn't, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I wanted that to happen. I thought there were enough reasons why you could have made an argument that Briscoe could have got the win here. Especially if you're going to, I don't want to say like have him as a third party because he's not been totally interjected as a third party in this feud, but he's definitely kind of a third wheel in the feud at the moment. And so like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure in everybody's minds, at least in mine, when I talk about levels, you've got Omega and Okada, and they're a level above Mark Briscoe, probably. I don't want to say one of these things is not like the other because that's not necessarily fair, but one of these
Right.
things isn't generally booked like the others. How's that? One of them hasn't necessarily been treated like the others. And to be fair, the large portion of his career was on the independents with his brother as a tag team. So we only have
Yeah.
a very small amount of sample to work with of him being a singles wrestler. But it does feel like he's kind of the hanger on in this, which I want a little bit more from Mark Briscoe. So if you're gonna put him in this, I think a win in this situation would have been good because it would have solidly at least made us or put him a little closer to their level in my mind.
Yeah.
But again, it is what it is. I don't know that I. So here's what I'm going to say: the drop kick is pretty. I'm trying to think, and I can't, which means that it has to be. I'm trying to think of anybody I could think of that might have a prettier one, and I can't come up with someone off the top of my head, which means it must have to be the best. I hate to say that because I really don't like them, but I guess it is what it is. So
The AJ Styles drop kick is good.
I had fun with this match.
Yeah. No. Yeah, this was a good match. I don't want to give you any credit. I don't want to give you any what you call it, any guesses. AJ Styles had a very nice drop kick as well. I was just like off the top of the but yeah. But no, Akash still the best. He still had the best. Okay. Look at that. Very formidable very formidable match where it's like, listen, Okada is winning, and he has to have Don Callis, so that kind of brings down the possibility of Omega winning because like who's gonna help Omega with all this craziness ensues? We'll see. Tune in.
We'll see. Sure. MJF versus Mystico next.
Listen,
which I guess Mystico is one of the greatest wrestlers in Mexico. So
let me say this. How he came out and everyone was singing his song. Me, y'all all know this, for all family. I don't travel too far for my wrestling entertainment. Not because I think stuff on TV is better. It's just I'm lazy. I'm an old person when it comes to my television. If I see something on the commercial, I'm gonna try 2 times. If I can't find you in them 2 times, it's over. It's like the point blank period. I try to find it, it's over. But going towards this, when he was Sin Cara in WWE, they kind of try to make him feel important, and it did like a couple of weeks where they had the light shown down and he was doing his entrance. Like, okay, cool. But I like watching this. It was like, oh, I didn't do enough. Oh, this dude is this was the actual I remember when when he got introduced in WWE, and like this, the greatest acquisition. It's like, who? It's the Trilogy. I didn't know anything. Like, who? Oh, okay, fine. But watching this entrance, it's like, oh snap. Oh, y'all should have done better. Y'all should have done like I said AEW. Y'all should have done video packages. Y'all should have showed me this when he was competing in Mexico. Like he's a big deal. Dang, got it, man. I love that he got this entrance as well. So it's like, dang, this is like Grand Slam Mexico. You should have you should have CMLL prize people here. This was like, okay. Now this is like Grand Slam Mexico. All right, let's go.
And the reality is that that's what happens when you change people's names and act like they don't have a history, or like you don't know,
Yeah,
you're like you just found them on the streets of Mexico or in some backwall. You know what I mean? Like they were some unknown whatever, and you know what I mean? Which is how WWE made it seem with Sin Cara, right? Like, so yeah, I mean, the reality is that if they had presented him like AEW does, it would have been probably a whole different situation, hopefully. But again, that's not WWE style. So thankfully, AEW does that, and thankfully, with this partnership with CMLL, they can do that, right? With Mystico, they can treat him like exactly how he is. So MJF in his All American MVP, very looking gear. I thought it looked MVP style, other than the red, white, and blue. But like the structure of it was very
the leotard.
Yeah,
He usually just have trunks on, but he had a whole freaking leotard on. Yeah,
very MVP-ish. Yeah, red, white, and blue, as you would think he would do, because MJF is the ultimate troll, right? So yeah. So and the match ends with MJF hitting him with a low blow for the DQ, and then the Hurt Business takes over, as you assume that they would.
Like, come on, man!
So, huh?
You gotta choose a winner. You gotta choose especially like, okay, Blockbuster, Flatter Fest. Those are just, no offense, those are just names. But Grand Slam, you're in Mexico, like this, like, so the whole presentation of this show felt way more special than the other two special shows, in my opinion. Like, oh, we're actually in Mexico. Oh, you're actually having the integration of Mexican wrestlers. Okay, cool. It just actually felt better. So in that aspect, it's like you gotta pick a winner. I get you don't want MJF to lose, but come on, man. You gotta pull the trigger. You gotta pull the trigger. This was a great match. And I love the whole we're still trying to find MJF's footing in the Hurt Syndicate, like but like every match is like, which style are we gonna go? Are we leaning towards more what MJF does, or we're leaning towards more of what MVP does? And MVP, like what you call it, Hurt Syndicate, I love that they're about business. Like they really aren't about emotional crap. They're about let's win these matches, get this money, and go home. So every time MJF is just trying to find and be like, "What you doing, bro?" I love that aspect that like he's still MJF is still in his 20s, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's like
so MJF. Even though MJF is a huge star, he is still young. He still has a lot to learn. So and that's crazy to say that, where he actually can be. He actually hasn't hit his stride, his sweet spot. Honestly, like he's getting toward, like, it's sweet, but it isn't that ooey gooey center of a Tootsie Pop just yet. So I love that this is still his evolution almost. So I love that. I love that little back and forth. You gotta pick a win. Like, we're in Mexico, so like this you could do this either two ways. You can bring the crowd. You can make the crowd happy by letting Mexico win, or you can let the world burn and let MJF win. Listen, I hate that they like WWE did it too much, where they had a good idea around with it. Like, oh snap, someone losing in their hometown. Let's do that every show. No, you don't have to do that every show. But if you do it once every orange moon, it is impactful, and it does give the trope of MJF being a total douchebag. But it isn't DQ. I guess if you want to run this back, you can, because like this was a great match. Like if you want to do like another 2 matches on this, fine, because like this was really a good match. But yeah, that's it.
No, I mean, I agree with almost everything. I agree with everything you say. I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was. MJF, is good at what he does. This ends in a way that is perfect for MJF's character. And I don't know. I'm still not sure. Like you said, he's still getting his footing with the Hurt Business, both literally and figuratively. Like you
Yeah,
see it, like he's trying to figure out how to. It looks like in kayfabe he's doing it. Also in real life, it feels like they're trying to figure out how exactly to make the whole thing work too. Like
right.
behind the scenes, how is this going to work when we actually get out there and all those kinds of things. It
Yeah,
for me, it's not clicking at 100% yet, but we'll see if it gets a little bit better. It's not bad. It's just not. It hasn't hit
it's
its
not.
stride yet for me. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I like Mystico. I think he's great. We've seen him enough now where I'm starting to get to know him a little bit.
Hmm.
And obviously I know him from Sin Cara, obviously from his WWE days. So I like Mystico, and him getting more time in AEW. I'm all fine with. I have no problem with
Yeah,
any of that. I mean, you know, um,
yeah,
I thought this worked fine. You get to see Mystico in his own environment, right? You get to see a lot of these guys in their own environment, and he's a mega superstar. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine all the way around. I didn't
no,
necessarily mind the I didn't necessarily mind the DQ, mostly just because it fits the MJF style so much. Like very rarely does it feel like to me MJF
mm,
has a true one-on-one match that goes the distance to an actual clean finish. I mean, that's rare. Like there's always something going on with him, right? And so
yeah,
it just seems like par for the course. To be fair, sometimes it does get a little bit old. And I do think for a guy that, and I did check, he's only 29. For a guy that's only
oh
29
wow,
and he's only been around as best I can think of, he's been around with obviously the 5-6 years of AEW, and he was around with MLW like a couple years before that. So maybe 10 years, 9 years. He's been around 10 years, maybe, if he started at 19 or 20, let's say.
yeah,
Um, I don't, for a guy that's still that early in his career, for him to start to already feel predictable in the way he books and some of his character stuff, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. Like you can already say, "Oh, that's MJF's MO," and it's like, you know what I mean? Like he's,
yes, yeah,
like, oh, his regular thing is you have to beat everyone before, yeah, every one of the guy that he's wrestling's friends beforehand, right? So it's like you got to go through.
yeah,
I'm gonna make and that's the standard MJF thing. Every time he's got a belt, or every time he's got a big match with someone. So, and so that and just too many shenanigans. I don't I don't think it is at this point, but at some point my question is, does it take away from his actual ability in the ring? If you know what I'm saying, to just
yeah,
be
yeah.
a really good solid wrestler, because he is. And I love him as a heel. Don't turn him face. I know you already tried to do that with Adam Cole a little bit.
It
Don't
wasn't
do that
working. It
again.
didn't work.
Don't do that again. Leave him as a heel. He's
Like,
he's
stop
great
it.
as he's great as the people's douchebag. Like he's great as like the heel that you can't stand, but then you love to hate. Like, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
one of those things. So he gets cheered because he's so good at being so disgusting, right? Like,
Yeah.
and just leave him in there and let him do that stuff. But you also have to be able to, if he's gonna be a pillar of your company, he's got to show how good he is in the ring as well. And
Yeah.
so that has to translate into clean wins over big opponents sometimes, which I'm not saying that it hasn't at different times. It just, there's too much, in my opinion. Or, okay, it's riding the line potentially of becoming too much in his career where it's like, oh, yeah, too many shenanigans. That's just who, MJF is. And that I don't want to, but it is, so it's like it's becoming that. So I just would,
Shenanigans. Yeah.
so, but other than that, no, I think it's fine, And his, him trolling is great. The USA singlet. I'm not a big fan necessarily of the whole wrestling trope of you have to pit countries against each other and all those kinds of things, but they're gonna do it, and he did it well, and it's funny in this situation, I guess. So,
Totally agree.
what do we have next? Hologram
So
versus Leo Rush. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, it was a final four way, and we're
Oh, yeah,
doing.
yeah.
I don't mind these money matches where it's like, hey, whoever wins the 400,000, like, get a lump sum of money. Like, and actually, like we always say, for people who need an excuse, for people who wrestle, like, hey, for money. All right, so you versus you versus you versus you, $400,000. All right, bet. It was mask. I'm going. It was hologram versus Ricochet versus if I say it wrong, just tell me. Mascara Dorada.
Yep.
Yay. And versus Leo Rush. And Leo Rush is so stupid with this Dumbledore black mask on that looks like you was a freaking Bane, but your eyes got torn out. Like, I hate you and love you at the same dang time. That was just hilarious. But this match was, like I said, it's like what'd you say?
I didn't say anything. I was just laughing.
Oh yeah, like the same. Like, I hate you and love you at the same dang time. I love, like I said, when you don't have really affiliations of, like, there's no hidden rivalries. It's like, let them just wrestle. I love it. Like, and when you have professionals like Ricochet, Leo, and Hologram and Dorada, more so. I'm not gonna act like I know the other two. I know who Hologram is, but I'm gonna focus on more so Leo Rush and Ricochet. When you have professionals like that in the ring, where, like, we can make up a story on the spot in the match, it makes for a good show. So the more so the story was, yeah, Ricochet and Leo Rush really quickly in the match, like, hey, let's just work together and take these two out. All right, fine, bet. And them trolling. Ricochet's doing his best work, which is crazy to say, right? But he is doing his best work. Where anytime he heals up another heel, it looks effortless. Like when he was with the elite, it was a question of, hey, should he be part of the elite? Why not? And like, they never did. I'm like, come on. And then you have this where it's just like him and Leo Rush are meshing too well. Where it's like, do y'all want to be part of the group? Y'all can if y'all want to be. But of course, it breaks up, and then you have, this is a straight up luchador at its best, and you have two high flyers who are here for the craziness. It was just so much fun. It was so much fun. And at the end, you like Leo Rush, like, Ricochet got a little bit too big for his britches, and Leo was like, hey, let's not act like you in charge, bro. We're working together. And of course, that's when the breakdown is why you lose. Come on. You gotta find the right time. Like, you don't need to break for the whole match, but for you, like, you can't break down at critical moments. But that breakdown led to wait, cause I'm trying to remember. Let's see who wins. And yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
Hologram got the
briefly,
win.
who?
Hologram.
Hologram got the win, and that, and like, it's
Hologram
like,
gets the win.
and that's fun. And so again, great fun match. This isn't a pay-per-view, right? This is still television. So this was a perfect little match for Grand Slam Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I have some problems with the booking. Hologram.
Okay. Oh,
Every time Hologram seems to be on TV, he wins, which is fine, but they don't do anything with him. So he just wins and sits there. I mean, if he's going to get wins, then push him and do something with him. I mean, he's been in the same spot for a while now, it feels like.
yeah,
Ricochet, I mean, Ricochet has been circling your main event AEW picture for a
yeah,
while now, and nothing against Hologram and Leo Rush and Dorado, but they're not. Well, okay, I don't know about Dorado. Hologram and Leo Rush ain't coming in. They're not booked in any way, shape, or form anywhere near the main event picture ever. So it feels like a step down for Ricochet, even though this is a perfect match chemistry-wise as far as his skill set. It feels like almost like a step down from where he should be wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
at the same time, it was solid and it's fun. All these guys are very talented. And lastly, I want more for Leo Rush. I think for me,
Yes.
he's my favorite of at least the three that I know here, and Dorado too. Um, so I never know where the disconnect is with him. I think it's probably I don't want to say this because I don't know, and I hate to speak out of turn. It feels like it might be a personality thing. I just don't know. Like
No, no,
he's
we're both
outspoken.
feeling
He
that.
is who he is. He's not gonna do it. So he's not really into conforming per se, and I can't
Yeah.
necessarily blame him depending on what they're expecting him to conform to. So in that regard, it is what it is. But I always want more for him. So that being said, the match itself was fun. Hologram always gets the win, so Hologram got the win. It is what it is, and we'll see if
And
this
then Cash
results in any
Money.
kind of push in any way, shape, or form, or any kind of movement for him. I mean, not that I'm necessarily excited for it because he doesn't necessarily move the needle for me. I think he's fine at what he does. It just isn't necessarily what he's just kind of whatever for me. I'm not down on him. I'm just not up on him either. I'm very, on hologram. So, if they push him, great. Let's do it the right way. In the meantime, you're still giving him just wins over, just wins, especially over Ricochet. Like, and I get it, it's a
Yeah.
4-way, and Ricochet didn't take it, but he's been one of your big superstars, and he didn't get the win here. Like, it seems odd. So I thought for sure Ricochet was going to get the win, other than the fact that Hologram always wins when he's wrestling. So I don't know. It was a little odd to me, but I enjoyed the match. Like I said, in a vacuum, like we always say, in a vacuum and between the ropes, the wrestling itself was fine. All four guys can go, very enjoyable in that regard. So,
No, totally agree with you. I don't want to say travel issues, but like more so with Ricochet. It's like, listen, he's doing the best work of his life. He needs a push. It feels like we're getting him versus Kevin Knight, but Kevin Knight went to he went to Japan for a little bit of a tournament, and like I guess if you want, I'm not sure if you want to pick that back up or not, but it's like Ricochet does need another good program. I will say that it feels like we do something with Swerve. I guess it was kind of complete, but I felt wasn't 1-on-1. Like we need a draw. Like we need a tiebreaker, and then it was kind of with the Hurt Syndicate. But that was like, so yeah, we do need a good solid program for Ricochet. I totally agree.
yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if there isn't something there too, like, because it feels like they tried, like you said, they had the little swerve thing, and then they had the Hurt Syndicate thing, and now it feels like they kind of don't know what to do with them again. Like they've
Yeah,
had those two little feuds, and it's almost like they don't really want to push him to that swerve level, but they kind of want to tease him around that level, but they don't really have anything to do with him. So he ends up in this kind of situation or in a feud with Kevin Knight, taking nothing away from Kevin Knight. But the way you booked Ricochet, giving him so much TV time, now you're going to put him in a feud with Kevin Knight? Like, I mean,
yeah,
I like Kevin Knight, but I mean, it's Kevin Knight. No offense, but it is what it is, right? I mean, so, and I know they're trying to push Kevin Knight, and if you're going to I guess if you're going to let Kevin Knight get a win or something, which would seem really weird over the other guy that you've been pushing for a while now, Ricochet also, then I guess, happy for Kevin Knight, but that wouldn't make any sense either because you've been pushing both of these guys. So it seems weird that would be, I don't, the whole thing is weird. Again, back to, one of the eternal complaints about AEW has been Tony Khan's booking. And again, putting it all on his shoulders is probably unfair. I have no idea how involved he was, is, will be, all those things, but he's the owner of the company. So it falls on his
mhm,
shoulders. And there's a fair amount of very questionable booking. Let's just put it that way.
yes, agreed.
Women's match. Zeuxis? I don't want to. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Versus Mercedes Monet, the
Yeah,
CMLL Women's Champion. I don't. It looks like Zeus with an IX or with a X.
mhm,
Zeuxis. I don't remember how they were pronouncing it on the show now, but Do you remember how they were pronouncing it?
No.
Okay. But needless to say, Mercedes Moné now has another title in
He's just
her
dripping it
uh,
go. It's
championship cabinet. Right? I mean,
go.
she is now the new CMLL Women's Champion after beating Zeuxis. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't want to pronounce the name wrong, but I want to say something. The former women's champion. How's that? Uh,
Before
you know,
Steven else.
I Mercedes is really, 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 really good, right? I get that. Mercedes Monet, Mercedes Vernado, uh, like her, dislike her as a person, she may go down when her career is over as one of the top 3 or 4 women's wrestlers of all time. There's definitely an argument that could be made. It's all debatable because it's all opinion, but there's definitely an argument that at some point could be made for that. So her holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 championships at a time, 18 at a time in different companies, I get it. Her beating the CMLL, a current women's champion, in under 10 minutes in a match that didn't feel overly competitive
Yeah.
to me, that felt kind of dominated by Mercedes Moné, doesn't shine well on your presentation of the women's division for CMLL. That's the women's champion, and she got pretty much destroyed in a quick match and her title taken. So, in that regard, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that. I
Mhm.
understand it's Mercedes, but the other woman was also the women's champion. So she obviously can go and can obviously wrestle and has some skill. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been your champion. Especially because you do have some women that are really good. You have some women that can really wrestle. So, like, she didn't, I can't imagine she got there just by not being good. So,
Right.
the whole thing was a little odd to me. So, again, Mercedes gets the win. It is what it is. I didn't think it looked very good for CMLL women's division. But
So
Tony's not great on women anyhow. He's not big on women anyhow. So
no, I totally agree with you on that one because like it feels like they're gonna say rushed, but they're like, oh, we need a women's match. So the week before this Dynamite, uh Mercedes Moné is eating dinner while Tony Storm is wrestling, and she has her phone. She tweets and she just puts it down like, "Oh, Mercedes Moné just challenged the female women's champion for a match." You're just like, "Really? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing?" Like you said, oh, she actually hit the belt. Dang, I appreciate them trying to be like, this is the first time her and Zeus's compete against together. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. But this match literally got 1 week of build, less than 1 week. It's like Mercedes did a tweet and we did a match and she beat her for a belt. It's like, dang, we're not gonna put her on the same level as Mystico, but it's like she is the CMLL Women's Champion. Can we put a little bit more respect? Like, can we put her just a little bit higher? A little bit more
yeah,
thought into this match. Just a
yeah.
little
No,
bit.
I
But
agree.
that's it.
I agree.
He said within 10 minutes, it like they in the ring though, they did their thing though. They did their thing where like it was very much so entertaining. I was kind of worried about the CMLL women's former champion because that suicide dive was like, oh, it went a little bit of a nosedive. It was like, hold up, wait, is she okay? Is she okay?
Right?
Like she not all right, she's fine. And then how Mercedes when they won, she didn't win with a bank statement or her submission move. She actually did it was a flip power slam off the top rope. I'm like, oh, that's new for you. So that was okay. Like I said, in a vacuum of it is what it is. It was a good match. It was a good match. I'm here for Mercedes Moné as belt collector. Like I never got to experience Kenny Omega as the belt collector, so yeah, this is my belt collector right now, and I'm here for it, and I appreciate it.
Well, then the best thing on the whole episode happened, which was Tony Storm's pop-up promo in the film, like it was a film noir, a movie from like the 50s. I mean, the promo was great. I thought the
Yeah,
little film segment promo, whatever, was great. Um,
Her dress
And
as Carmen Sandiego was so. I'm like, I don't know if she knows this. I don't know if she knows this cartoon, but in my mind she does, and I love it. I love her in her red hat and her red jacket. Yes, I love this.
yeah, no, I mean, she's been in her bag for a while. This timeless character is definitely the best work Tony Storm's ever done in his career. And it just continues to get better. Just when you think, okay, it's been around for a while, maybe whatever, it just continues to just get better. I mean, this is one of the best promos she's done since being timeless Tony Storm, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And then let's see, Mina Shirakawa appears.
The little distraction. It's like, where is she? Where is she? Then she takes like, she takes off her hat, and then she smells like, what is what y'all smelling each other? Can y'all stop? We're getting to a word place. We're getting to a word place. Y'all just smelling each other. And then I love Mercedes with all the belts in her hand. No. While she's getting suplexed. And then here comes the freaking, what you call it, the refs and stuff trying to get them to separate. And Tony Storm like, listen, games. I love this part because it's like, okay, so y'all are now the official fun has started when Tony Storm says, let the games begin. I'm like, oh, this ride just getting started. I'm here. I'm here for it. We're actually, this party just got started. Let's go.
Do you want to give a prediction here and now on who wins between Tony and Mercedes? Or you want to wait till it's closer to the show?
This is an official one. I'm just give thoughts. I don't know. More so, because even I am enjoying Mercedes the belt collector. But for her, are we really gonna put one more belt? She had a hard time putting everything around her. Like, she's so tiny. Like, where's the belt gonna go? Where's the belt gonna go? But and it would be like when her downfall of her losing everything is coming. It's like, does she need, like, does the downfall happen before she wins the AEW Women's Championship or after? So I like, which one is more entertaining, her losing all the belts or her losing all the belts before winning the big one?
I think that's a tough question.
I think I would probably prefer her losing all of her belts before winning the big one. I think I prefer that more. Now we got 3 weeks, so that's not happening. So I'm going to say that Tony, like, unless she goes everywhere in a matter of 3 weeks and just start losing stuff, but that's not really a good story because we're not watching it. I'm going to say right now, Tony Storm retains.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it going either way. It feels very kind of 50-50 at the moment to me. I think that the fact that Tony Storm is now the 4-time AEW Women's Champion and Mercedes hasn't been Women's World Champion yet seems like a spot where they might make that transition. And since Mercedes is in that belt collector mode at the moment, it makes sense. The question that I have is, she's currently the TBS champion too. You're really consolidating everything if you put all your belts around Mercedes. Like, now she has to defend 2 belts and everyone has to wrestle her to get a chance at a belt, right? So, the question would become, would Tony actually keep her with both belts, or would he have her vacate potentially the TBS championship if she beats Tony Storm? If that's the thought process, I think it's more likely that Tony Storm retains then. At the same time, I don't really like the idea. I think it's more likely Mercedes wins if Tony wants her to be champion of both titles at the same time. I don't think that's a great decision, but I can see Tony pulling the trigger on that because she's in that belt collector mode at the moment. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Tony Storm is a solid enough wrestler between the ropes and she has enough of a resume that her beating Mercedes Moné is not an upset or out of the realm of possibility. And
Yeah.
not just because she's champion and champion should be able to beat anybody, but just on the level, exclude all titles, just the two wrestlers, Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné they're not that far apart on the, as far as skills in the ring goes. So, it's believable that Toni Storm beats a Mercedes Moné to retain her championship. Hence, that's why she's a champion, because she is really good. Um, so I don't know. The question really becomes: is it time right now to pull the trigger on Mercedes as AEW champion? I worry, and I say this a lot. I worry about having too many recycled champions. We already have 4-time Toni Storm, AEW Women's Champion. This wouldn't be Mercedes is going to hold that title probably more than one time. The question is, are we ready to pull that trigger here for the first time now? Want to let it ride out a little bit and wait a little long? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's very interesting. In ring, I think Mercedes probably has a slight edge. Personality wise, right now, I'm more into the timeless Toni Storm character than I am a little bit the CEO Mercedes Moné character. Just because it feels more unique. Mercedes is Mercedes. This is what she does. This is a whole new thing for Toni Storm. Not new. I mean, she's been doing it now for a while, but a whole new thing for her, and it feels new and original to wrestling in some regard. So I think I'm more like I enjoy that a little bit more. But the match is going to be amazing either way.
The match is going to be so solid. I don't want to put too much stake on it. I don't want to put too much pressure on them. But yeah, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good.
So now comes the question I really had. We have the next match, which is Will Ospreay, the Ops, and Swerve Strickland versus the Death Riders, the Young Bucks. And because someone was missing, and I don't remember who they said, who was it?
Claudio.
Claudio couldn't make it. They bring in the Beast Mortis. Here's my question. Is he in that spot because he's with Mercedes now?
No, don't say no, don't say that.
Is that why he gets that call? Because he's in a relationship with Mercedes now? Because nothing against Mortis. I think Mortis is extremely talented. I don't think we saw him get a spot with all the main event guys before he was.
No, don't say that. No. let me be totally serious. Even if Claudio couldn't make it, this still is Grand Slam Mexico. So I think either way, somebody wasn't going to get the spot, and Beast Mortis is going to be in the match. Because you do need somebody from CMLL to be in the main event. I do. So I wholeheartedly believe that Beast Mortis is going to be in this match. It's a matter of who's going to take whose spot was he taking. And because Claudio had travel issues, it's like, hey, so seamless. He can't make it. We call in the favor, Beast Mortis. And Beast Mortis is a great. Let me be very, very clear. He's a very, very great wrestler. It was one time we're just like, what are we doing with him? Because he is good, but we're not giving him a spotlight. It's like, what is the plan here? I guess we're just gonna ride out. We're just gonna ride out. But yeah, he was gonna. I wholeheartedly believe that he's gonna be in this match no matter what.
You want to just continue on with your thoughts of the match?
Yeah. So again, this match was so good. It's like how can sometimes how can it not be? You have Ospreay, you have Swerve, you have Joe, you have Shibata, you have Will Hobbs, who I love this moment for him. Where it's just like, sometimes when people come back from injury and it's like, okay, we're going to give you a spot. It didn't really work out well. After 3 weeks, you drop off. You're in the mid card or you're below that. It's like right now they're actually giving Will Hobbs some attention. And I love that because he deserves it. He deserves it. So I love that he's in the Ops. I love he's the trio champion. I love he's in the main event. The little stories in here was so great. I like, even though it's a business decision, the Young Bucks with Jon Moxley is so deliciously entertaining though. It's like they're not alike, but they're working together. Yes, more of this, please. This was weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago. This is like, when in doubt, the Young Bucks just save storylines. They're like, they do. They do. Like before, honestly, before Joe and the Young Bucks, everybody was like, "Get the belt off Moxley. Get the belt off Moxley. This is dumb. Why are we still here?" As soon as Samoa Joe and the Young Bucks come in, he can wait a little bit longer. like he should lose the belt, but we can wait a little bit longer. And like this whole dichotomy of the main event and who's in it is so delicious for me, and I'm enjoying every little minute of it. I love talking about Beats Mortis. He showed up and showed out in this match, and yeah, he's like, "Hey, when you had the chance, no matter how you got it, you take it." And he took it. I love it. I love when he just ran wild, and I love when him and Samoa Joe Knuckles Joe is forever that dude. So he's just like, "Come on, like you picking bad? Let's go! Like let's go!" And so every little moment, I love Swerve and Osprey working so great together, and it's like tag team. Like we need help in the tag division. Do y'all want to like since Heyman is doing the whole John Moxley thing? Can we like for 2 months? 2 months? Can we get y'all the tag team? Okay, fine. We'll put it in the back pocket. We'll put it in the back pocket. And so, like everyone did their job well. Maria Shafir is she's in her bag as the enforcer / securer of the briefcase. I love her as the distraction. And when in doubt, Moxley got the win. 1, 2, 3. He's the champ. So that like that's how it should be. Well, then of course the beatdown happens, but here comes Hangman said it. We didn't know what he said in Spanish, but I just said he's like after the match. All bets are off. He's a man of his word. You hear the here comes freaking Heyman as a freaking Undertaker like such, and he comes in just going to town. Buckshot. He was aiming towards Moxley, but he ducked. He hit Nick, and Matt's like, "What you doing?" And he's like, "I wasn't aiming for him." So that is kind of interesting for me because it feels like at first it's like I thought it was a hardcore is Young Bucks are on this side, you're on the other side, but there's still a little bit of love there where it's just like y'all it's like what is like we're never finished. I never hate you, just we're just on different sides right now, and I'm like I love when there's a little bit of gray right there. Not because a little bit of gray because you don't not because it's gray because you don't know if someone's a babyface or heel. It's gray because there's history. It's history, and that you can't just turn off history because we decided to go on different paths. So I actually love that little part of it. And so yeah, we talked about All In is coming hot. This was a great little build up to All In. And it was like, let's see, like, how is this going to turn out? We know how it should turn out, but we can't put money on it just yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with all of what you said. All of it was very interesting to see how all the little nuances played out. Different people have different rivalries amongst these different people here. So all the little different, inner rivalries and all those things, Swerve and Offspring working well together. I wouldn't mind seeing them as a tag team. That'd be very interesting. Take a break from the singles scene for a minute and maybe go win the tag team championships. I'd love to see them versus the Young Bucks in a traditional tag team match, or plenty of the other tag teams that they have in AEW. Getting to see both Hobbs and Mortis get what I consider a very good run in the main event. Well, definitely a main event match because it was a main event on this card, but in what I would call the main event picture, as it includes, the champion and ultimately, his challenger at your next big pay-per-view, which, we've already determined, or, is basically their WrestleMania. So, it's great to see that. Mortis deserves it. So does Hobbs. I like both of them a lot. And so, getting to see them have a good shine is great. Moxley getting the win is, I guess, fine. Like you said, he's the champion. He's going into All In defending the title, and you don't want to have him look weak. Although I would argue that I think he still looks weak anyhow because he's been, not that he needs it, but he's been so willing to just accept victory at any victory by any means. Like, he's more than willing to let Marina Shafir offer distraction so he can roll up Strickland. And he's a good enough wrestler. He's a great enough wrestler that he doesn't need to do those things to win. And I understand that that's the character at the moment. I just, for the big bad wolf, which is kind of the feel that I get from Moxley, the big bad wolf is more, he doesn't have somebody there setting it up for him to blow the houses down on the backside, like making it easier, So in that
Yeah.
regard, I get a little tired of that Moxley. And the roll up, I always have issues with the roll up, but this wasn't the worst place for it, I guess. But overall, again, as we always say, in a vacuum, the match was fine. Lots of solid wrestlers, lots of great spots, lots of good TV time for guys that deserve it. And we complain about not enough build or not enough of this and last week's show being focused around All In, and that's definitely what this was. This was a match to get basically almost everybody that's going to be on All In on the TV kind of at one time. Hangman saving Swerve is interesting. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I can't imagine that they're ever going to be friendly, but maybe they can coexist at some point for some reason. But I mean, I personally think Hangman's going to beat Moxley, and that's what I'm here for at this moment in time. So, I thought this was fine. I thought this was better than AEW Grand Slam Mexico was better than Summer Blockbuster.
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, the presentation of it was just much like the presentation of like Blockbuster, like y'all just said it in name. There was no special graphic. There wasn't any like, oh, like let's do trailers. I'm like, it's a TV show, right? So I'm not, I know it can't be like super crazy, like a little bit specialness. Just just a little bit of specialness, like, okay, let's do a preview of a coming attractions, like like something like that, like something like Hollywood it up just a little bit. This was like, oh no, this is Grand Slam Mexico. Most of the matches in that area match had a luchador inside. It's like, no, this is what we're doing, and I appreciate that. And like I said, when it was in Mexico, the whole stage, the whole ramp was being displayed. Like, yes, give me it. Like, go all out on the TV special if you're going to call it a TV special.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. I'm looking here. Was that the? Oh yeah, I guess it was. That was both show because it was a 4-hour show again. It was Dynamite and Collision.
No.
I'm trying to see.
No. So no, they learned their lesson. This was only 2 hours and maybe 15,
you're right.
30
it was
minutes.
2 hours and 25 minutes. You're right. Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. How it's supposed to be. Nobody needs like as you can see, that made it more special. It was only 4 hours. Like, come on.
All right. So that was our review of a Grand Slam from Mexico on June 18th, and our last show that we're reviewing. So, what is your grade for this show, Miss Anika?
This? Like, I'm trying to think. B plus. B plus. Like, this, like, there wasn't anything egregious where it's like, come on, man, what are we doing? Even though I didn't know the luchadors, it was fun. And the way they let in Mystico, that got me pumped for the match. It's like, oh, this is a big deal. I can't give it an A because the Mercedes versus the CMLL former women's champion Zeus's. It's like y'all could have hyped it up better. It could have hyped it up better. It's like you said, losing a belt, even though you don't think it's special, it's still you're still letting someone defeat your champion. You only gave it under 10 minutes. It's like you should have got a little bit more time. But besides that, fun, great match, and a little bit of a hype up for All In. So yeah, B plus.
It was definitely better than Summer Blockbuster, no doubt about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that regard, I mean, um, yeah, I mean, the Mercedes winning probably too easily and not giving enough to the CMLL Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but other than that, I didn't think there was anything egregious. There was some stuff egregious on the prior 4-hour Summer Blockbuster. And here's the thing, I don't know why it does, but for me as a fan, when I'm watching it, when the show's in Mexico and it's heavy CMLL, that feels right.
It
And it
feels
feels
special. Yeah.
right. It feels the way that it should be. And not that they don't deserve to be on Dynamite in America or on when it just it feels like the right time to do it. And you have the right crowd because they know the guys and we get to appreciate them in their own
Mm-hmm.
environment and see how the crowd reacts to them. And for me, if for no other reason, the crowd for this show was head and shoulders above the crowd for Summer Blockbuster. As much
Oh
as
yeah.
don't want
Oh
to just,
yeah.
that's my neck of the woods. That was Portland. That's right here. And it wasn't a terrible crowd, but the Mexican crowd was much more engaged. Now, to be fair, they didn't have to sit there for 4 hours. They only had to sit there for two and a
This
half
is
hours.
true.
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, but no, I mean, so it does feel different. It shouldn't, but it does. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I think this was a B plus show. I'll give it a B. You give it a B plus. Either way, it takes the win this week. So the winner this week is AEW Mexico Grand Slam. Um, so yeah, I was disappointed with Summer Blockbuster, but I was surprisingly, I wouldn't say like, yay, Grand Slam Mexico, let's do it again next week, but it was definitely a lot better than Summer Blockbuster, and it felt a little bit more geared towards All In, a little bit.
I was thoroughly entertained. Like I said, thoroughly entertained. Like Saturday morning, let's watch it again because it was that much fun. Like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel after a show, a special show as that.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, so we'll do some housekeeping and then we'll get up out of here. Make sure and join us every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, for the cookout where we all come together and talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. Come for the wrestling and stay for the chaos. That's every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Friday night fights. Anika and usually Sammy Joe watch SmackDown in real time starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and give you their reactions and opinions in real time as they watch the show. Then all Wednesdays or Saturdays, we have the Winner's Circle, which you're here with us now for every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, where myself, Anika, and usually Sammy Joe joins us to talk about Dynamite and Collision from the prior Saturday and Wednesday and compare the shows, give each show a grade, and declare a winner for Winner's Circle. So there are some other things that we do that hopefully we'll be getting back to under the square circle at some point. And let's see, if you want to, let's see, check us out on all of our social media platforms. If you scan this, that's not the wrong one. Yeah, it is actually. Sorry. If you scan this QR code, that QR code will take you to Linktree, and from Linktree you can get to all of our social medias that you see on the screen from one location, so you can interact with us on all of these platforms. Please come check us out. Love to interact with you guys. Um, so check us out there. If you want to listen to the audio version of the Cookout podcast, you can also do that on these podcast platforms if you don't have time to sit down and watch some Tuesday night, or you just enjoy listening to us. You can do that in your car, when you're working out, when you're running your errands, whatever you want to do. But you can find us on these podcast platforms. So I think that's basically all of it. Unless you got anything else to say, we'll cut out the lights. And until next time, peace.
Bye.